All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And this is the most efficient way to pay off debt is to beat the bank at their own game. You know, they make practically all of their decisions based on data derived from feeding all of that information into computers, and then the computers tell them this is the best and most efficient way to make money from our customers. Well, how would you like to be able to turn the tables? How would you like to have a computer that can do that very same thing for you? Well, it's been done right here at the P.I.L.L Method, and we're going to show you how it's going to be done today. And we have on our stage with us this morning, Kareen, how are you this morning?
Sorry, I was trying to. I was on the sharing side of this platform, but I'm doing amazing. I'm looking forward to your room, Dawn. Thanks for having me.
Well, listen, you're a wealth of knowledge. Go ahead, and why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself right now? And then, we'll help you. Maybe you can come back and do it again later. But go ahead and do it right now. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Dawn. Good morning, family. My name is Kareen Mills, and I help you make peace with your money through financial literacy inside my global platform, Kareen.club. I have a very extensive background in banking, financial services, and insurance. And one of my favorite thought leader here on Clubhouse is Don Daniel, okay? Because the information that he provides on the streets of Clubhouse, granted, it's just the what, it's not the how, but it gives us awareness that we can hack the amortization table that the banks actually have for us, but we don't pay attention to it. It gives us full awareness to pay attention to the line item per line item that we wouldn't have otherwise asked for at the closing table for our loans, whether that be a personal loan, a student loan, and most importantly, your 30-year mortgage. So it is a huge part of financial literacy that is not being taught by our financial institutions when we expect that they should be the one educating us. Thank you so much, Dawn, for all that you do, and handing it back over to you.
And thank you for what you do, Kareen. I mean, what you're providing is valuable information as well. Because, listen, folks, we don't know what we don't know. You and me, everyone you know, as far as finances is concerned, we've been sold a bill of goods. People give us information, and we hear it over and over and over again, how things ought to work. And because everybody is doing it, then we must think that's the thing to do. But guess what? We're still going to work every day. We're still buying our houses. We're still paying our bills on time. We have good jobs. Everything is going well. So we don't pay attention to our interest consumption. What is interest consumption? That is how much interest we consume monthly. Now, this is the bank's bread and butter. How much interest they can get you to pay. And most importantly, how much interest they can get you to pay without you noticing it. Well, I tell you what, somebody else noticed. Somebody noticed. Oh, listen, I got one share in here. Please, folks, go ahead and share this screen. Go ahead and share this room. And I'm going to share with you someone who did notice. Someone who noticed that they were paying more interest than they needed to. And they are well off. They make good money. But their interest consumption was too high and they didn't even notice it. The average family pays 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest. Well, Dr. Eric Thomas found out he was paying way too much interest, and he wasn't efficient in paying off his debt. Once he learned about the pill method, oh my goodness, things changed for him and his family. E.T. the hip hop preacher? You see, we're good at what we're good at. He's an excellent speaker. He's the number one motivational speaker in the world. He's good at what he's good at. But he knew enough to say, you know what? I need to take better care of the money God has given me. Let's listen to what he has to say about the pill method.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Oh, that's what we're talking about, folks. Paying off that debt so that she could be at rest. You know, when you're making a lot of money and all the bills are paid, one part of the family may feel good about it. The other part of the family may still have some fear and trepidation and anxiety about that debt. When you're making a lot of money and you're at the top, you're not thinking about the fact that you may not wake up tomorrow. Okay? And then if you don't wake up tomorrow and then the income is gone and you haven't paid off the house, oh, that is not good. So why don't you just go ahead and do what Eric Thomas did and find out more about the pill method and how you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, pay it all off early, take that money that you were spending on interest and invest it in your family. How about that? All right. So let's go ahead and talk about how we can do that. You would go to ice10k.com. I'm putting that link at the top of the page. All right. ice10k.com. And when you get there, folks, there is a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill it all out. Follow the directions. You will be let into our financial form. And once you see that financial form, put everything in there that you're doing. And then our team will go to work on it and be able to tell you the month, the day, and the year you will be debt free. And it's usually within a 7 to 9 year window. And guess what, folks? We're going to guarantee your results. If the information you give us is correct, and we're going to verify it. In fact, my team is going to give you a call and verify those numbers. Once we verify the numbers, based on that, we will be able to tell you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free and how much interest you're going to save, and we will guarantee your results. Well, there are a lot of programs all over the place, on the internet, off the internet. I don't care what they're doing. There's a lot of programs out there, and they'll tell you that your results will vary. The results you see on the screen may not be your results. Yeah. No, that's not how we do it here. We will guarantee your results. That's why you can't go to the P.I.L.L Method website and just purchase this program. You have to be vetted by our financial teams to make sure that you can benefit from using this computer. And once we understand that you can benefit not only from the technology, but also from the education we provide you, then and only then can we talk about doing business and you becoming a client of the P.I.L.L Method, because then we will also hand you a 100% money back guarantee that is good for life. Who else does that? Will guarantee your results. So, Don, if I'm going to be out of debt in 5 to 7 years, why do I need a guarantee for life? Listen, can I tell you just one story about a couple that straight out of college with a mortgage and student loans paid off all of their debt, their consumer debt, their mortgage, and all their other debt in 6.5 years using this program. Their student loans were gone the next year, and they went to private school. Husband and wife paid off all of their debt in 7.5 years total. When they did that, they bought another house. Yeah. And then put a renter in their current house. And then they paid that one off. And then they bought another one and paid that one off. And this year, they are about to pay off their fourth house. That is why this program is good for a lifetime. And do you know, when they pay off their fourth house and put in a fifth house, do you realize that when they put that information into our computer system, it becomes a legal obligation for us, even though they paid us years ago, and now they're working on their fifth house? Lord have mercy. We're going to promise them the results they're looking at on the screen. And if we don't give them that result, then guess what? They get all of their money back, money that they paid years ago, because the program has now stopped working. Oh, we've been doing this for 16 years, folks. We've been giving that same written guarantee to everyone. And guess what? No one has had to use it yet. This is why we have an A+ rating on Better Business Bureau and no complaints in 16 years. 0 complaints. So if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt-free and control your interest consumption, we're going to be talking about that today. Then go to ice10k.com. That's ICE, the number 10, the letter K, and fill all of that out. Not only that, folks, but we have a #1 best-selling book. It's been #1 on Amazon 5 times. Oh, and we're heading toward a 6th time. It's going to be a bestseller on Amazon. It is the P.I.L.L method, a better way to eliminate debt. A better way to eliminate your debt. Go to Amazon and get that book today. It's Christmas time, folks. This is going to be a great gift idea for your family and other families to know the basics of how finances actually work. A better way to eliminate debt. Well, we're going to teach you how it should have been taught in the first place. This education has been left out of our curriculum. It is up to the P.I.L.L method. This is our goal, to insert it back into the financial education of all families everywhere who want to know. Now, here's what we found out. Not everybody wants to know. Some people are totally satisfied with what they're doing. This is why our subtitle on the book is A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, because people are out there looking for a better way. And now you can also help in this, in our goal to make sure that every home has this information. How would you like to enter into a partnership with the P.I.L.L method today? You'll also see, if you want to enter into a partnership, you'll also see on my 10K card, ice10k.com, you'll see a button that says referrals are the best compliments. Well, how would you like to enter into partnership with us? Save this information, ice10k.com, save it on your phone. And when you find someone who is looking for a better way to eliminate debt, send them to the P.I.L.L method YouTube channel. Follow up with them in a day or two, and then ask them, does this information resonate with you? And if they say yes, they want to know more, then fill that information out. Put your name in the in the referral slot. And when they become a client, we will send you $300. Whoa! Listen, we want to partner with you. Okay? We want to make sure everyone can benefit from the P.I.L.L method. So if you want to help somebody else and help yourself at the same time, save that information, P.I.L.L method, ice10k.com, and send them to our YouTube channel to watch our videos and contact them. You know, if you don't follow up, you foul up. Contact them in a day or two and then ask them, is there something here that it resonates with? I mean, does it excite you? Is this something you want to know more about? And if they say yes, you fill out the information with their contact information, put your name in the referral slot, and send it in. Now, also, register with the P.I.L.L method as a referral partner. Contact us using that same card. Contact us and say, I want to be a referral partner, and I want to start sending people to this information. And then once you put your name in there, you're logged in. You're in there forever. And so when we see your name, that we'll say this person belongs to Jeffrey Johnson. And then when their person signs up for the P.I.L.L method, Jeffrey Johnson will get $300. But it doesn't stop there, folks. It doesn't stop there. Oh, my goodness. Find out how you can turn getting $300 referral fee for every client into $1,000 for every client. I'm excited to talk about it. Okay. Turn it into $1,000 for every new client. Would you like that? Oh, my goodness. I'm excited to talk about that. But anyway, let's get into the program for today. If you have a question or comment about anything that you're learning today, go ahead and raise your hand, come up to the stage. I see Jeffrey Johnson. Listen, I see Jeffrey out there. I see Jeffrey West. Did you know, Jeffrey, do you mind if I tell the folks that you're one of our referral partners? That Jeffrey West is sending us people to talk to that they want to be able to get out of debt? Listen, to be a referral partner with us is so easy. Oh, my goodness. But you also want to take advantage of this for yourself. So if you want to see what we're talking about today, folks, go to a separate device, like your tablet or your laptop, and go to our YouTube channel, and then search for our live broadcast, and you'll be able to see we're going to go over in depth the computer system that does everything. We have been spending so much time on the education. The education is key to understanding how the computer system works. I'm going to give you some great insights today about the computer system that runs everything. We call it the opportunity cost calculator. It is the only one of its kind on the planet. All other programs act like spreadsheets. This is artificial intelligence that guides you, that actually prompts you and gives you specific instructions on what to do and when. A spreadsheet only calculates what you put in and says, here are your results based on what you put in. Our artificially intelligent program is completely different. After we know what your finances are, the program will guide you like financial GPS. Put this much money in savings. Take money out of savings. Put this much money on your debt. Do it on this day, in this month. Here's how much interest you're going to save when you do this. And then we start the process all over again. And we keep doing that. The program keeps guiding you until you're completely out of debt in 7 to 9 years on average. Some people do it as soon as 5 years. I'm meeting with a family on Sunday who will be out of debt in about 5 years And how did they find out about us? Through the book. They were reading one book that they got from Amazon, finished it, and he thought that book was pretty good until Amazon now recommended my book. He read my book and says, "Oh my gosh, I knew nothing about finances." He contacted us right away. He's so excited about this. He and his wife are going to meet with me on this Sunday and talk about how they can pay off all of their debt in about 5 years. You know, the best he could do with his spreadsheet was 15, pay everything off in 15. He was happy about that until he found out that he put in his information and found out he could be out of debt in about 5 years. He says, unbelievable, unbelievable. How do you do that? I said, come on Sunday, let's find out. Kanabi says, awesome sauce right there. Listen, she's watching. She's watching us from YouTube. And good morning, Adrienne Pickney, who's also joining us from Facebook. And we have so many people here joining us from Clubhouse. So, folks, if you want to see what we're talking about, we already have 7 people here. So let's go ahead, get everything on the screen. Let's talk about it this morning. So let me we're going to share the screen here. And then we're going to go to and set everything up. Boom. We're going to reset this. Now, we can handle not only if you have one mortgage, some of you may have 2 mortgages. Good morning and shalom, sir, she says. All right, all right, all right. Listen, all right, and listen, and Shabbat shalom to you, because today is preparation day. Tomorrow I will be going to church. So happy Sabbath to you as well, folks. I'm excited today. So today we have on the screen. Right now. She says, I have a room at 8:30. Listen, don't worry about it, because you'll be able to come back and see the replays. She says, exactly. All right, folks, this is what we mean. This is what we mean right here. Listen, these folks are real folks, okay? She says she's going for Shabbat service tomorrow. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. How about that? Oh, man, you never know who you're going to run into here, folks. People of like mind get together and are able to do great things. We're getting together on how to understand finances from a very basic level. I came into the office this morning and it was a little chilly. So I got the heater on. I'm getting ready to turn it off. But Credit Goddess is here this morning. Credit Goddess, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, Don. How are you?
I'm doing well. I saw that your house was up and running strong yesterday. Will you tell us a little bit about what you're doing, please?
Yes. Well, I do have a house. The house is called CREAM. It stands for Credit Rules Everything Around Me. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., I host a room where I educate folks about credit. And this is more hands-on. We learn everything about credit. This past Wednesday, we actually was budgeting. We put a budget together live. So because that's the way to actually maintain good credit, is if you know how to budget. That is super, super important. So yeah, so I host my rooms on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern in my house. Cream. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you about that. Thank you very much. So tell us a little bit about your background and introduce yourself, Credit Goddess, and we're going to jump right in. I see. Good morning to you, Helen. Good morning to you, Linda. If either one of you have a question to ask, please flash your mic. I want to make sure we get your questions in. So, Credit Goddess, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everyone. Hey, Kareen. Hey, Helen. Hey, Linda. And everybody in the listening lounge. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit coach. an educator in the credit space, and also NAV business loan broker. So I help my clients improve their credit so that way they can be in the best position to qualify for funding, any kind of funding. So definitely tap in with me. If you check the bio, the numbers on my bio where you can send your name and email address to, and let's set up a consultation and get going. 2023, let's start that with the bang. Get your finances together, including your credit. And then that way you can apply Don's P.I.L.L method to save on interest costs. Because again, credit, saving on interest goes hand in hand. So definitely tap in. Thank you, Don.
All right, listen, folks, we're getting ready to get started here. I'm doing a little chatting in the background. Hold on for just a second, Don. 10K. All right, Don10K.com. All right, contact us.
Hey, Don, this is Kareen.
Go ahead, Kareem.
I just wanted to say, because you've been giving a lot of examples about when can somebody pay off a home. You can pay it off as fast as 5 years, and of course, what you say, 7 to 9. But when you look at the 5 years, it's essentially just skipping a lot of happy hours in your life. But when you think about that 5 year mark, that there's like 6 houses in a 30-year period. And you mean to say somebody that disciplines themselves around their money can actually buy 6 houses in a 30-year period of time versus a one house for a 30-year mortgage. My gosh, that's amazing.
Well, Kareen, that is, it doesn't just stop there. It's not just about buying houses, folks. It is creating net worth. Net worth. It's what the houses are worth. It's what
Yes.
these houses will be worth 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Why spend all of your time and energy trying to purchase one house when, get this now, 9 out of 10 people will never pay off a house in the first place. 9 out of 10 people will never pay off their mortgage. And it is possible for you, just like Kareen says, to own 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 houses in that amount of time and increase your net worth by millions. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. The other piece to that too, Don, is instead of working forever, that allows you to actually have a cash flow into your home without worrying about having to work. But I know, like, it's more fun to go to work when you don't have to work.
You better believe that. You better believe that. So once our business started taking off, and my wife stopped working, she's work is optional now. All right, she does a lot of things in the community now, but sometimes she talks about going back to work. But it's something fun to think about. It's not something that she has to do. All right. Now, this is not work for me. I absolutely love this. Okay. So I am not going, I'm going to wear out. I'm not going to rust out. So folks, when you do something you absolutely love, it does not feel like work. And I guarantee you, this doesn't feel like work to me. Miss Linda, how are you doing this morning? Thank you for being here. Do you have something? Do you have something to say? Do you have a question or comment this morning, Linda? Go ahead and click that microphone in the lower right-hand corner, and then you can unmute. No? All right. Anyway, when you can, say something. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started. I've got a bunch of people in here waiting, looking at our screen. This is John and Rebecca Jones. That's who we're going to be referring to today, John and Rebecca Jones. And I'm going to set this thing up so that you can see how the P.I.L.L method, opportunity cost calculator, works, and so that you can have an idea of what you're doing with your finances. We're going to do something that you've never seen before. How a computer works like GPS, telling you when to turn, what to do, when to do it, giving you guidance to financial freedom, taking the guesswork out of it. And some people think, Don, you need discipline to do this. And Corrine, listen, you said something that I want to talk about right now, that if you just skip a few happy hours, you can do this. Here's what I want to tell you. When you come to the P.I.L.L method, you tell us what your budget is already. We work with your current budget. So if your spending is at a certain level and you can pay all of your bills, all right, we'll tell you how you can be debt free in an average of 7 to 9 years at your current spending levels. Now, if you want to do something like give up a few happy hours, we can do even better, even more for you, but you don't have to. We're going to take your current spending level. You can live well and get out of debt. You can have fun and get out of debt. You can even buy a new car and get out of debt faster. You can go on vacations every year and get out of debt faster. You can splurge a little bit and get out of debt faster. Why? Because what you're giving up are not creature comforts. What you're giving up is all of that interest that you're paying. Let's see how John and Rebecca Jones do it. So here's the first thing that we're looking at. What you're looking at now on the screen is our action plan. In the action plan is where we track all of your spending and all of your receiving of funds, the money that you make and the money that you spend. Do you realize that tracking your financial information, that's a budget? Most people hear the word budget, and you tell me if I'm telling the truth, Credit Goddess. They hear the word budget and think of something negative, something that somebody is telling them what they can't do. Oh, no, not here. We look at what you're spending, and I'm going to break this down for you. We look at what you're spending, and so if you track it, then you know exactly how much you're making and how much you're spending and how much you can put away for later because you're tracking it. Most people don't track their spending, and that's why they get into trouble. I had one lady who was intrigued about our information and put in a request. And when it got down to where she was supposed to put in her discretionary income, how much money is left over after all the bills are paid? That's discretionary income. She says, what if you don't have any? I said, what do you mean, what if you don't have any? She says, yeah, what if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have any discretionary income? I said, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Number one, can you pay all of your bills every month just from your income? She said, yes. Let me probe a little deeper then. Do you ever use your credit cards to help you to pay bills because you've run out of money? She says, never. I said, then, probing just a little bit deeper, do you ever have to use your savings to pay your monthly bills because your income doesn't cover it that month? She says, never. I said, well, something's not right here. Okay, because no one can spend exactly how much they make and never go over and never be under. No one spends exactly how much they make on bills. Nobody. All right, to the penny. Nobody does that. So here's what I'd like for you to do. We sent her a budget sheet. Okay. It's kind of like a memory jogger. Here's all the categories we can think of. We're going to send that to you, and then you just fill that out. Put in how much you're making and how much your bills are every month. I mean, every last thing you purchase, even how much you want to spend on you every single month, just to have some fun. You put that in there too. It took her a long time to get that thing back to us. And when she sent it back to us and gave us a call, she mentioned it took a long time because she had to fill out the budget sheet 3 separate times. And she said, I had to do it because Every time I did the math, it came up the same number each time. How much was left over? $2,000 a month left over after all the bills are paid. And she did not have a clue as to where that $2,000 was going. Corrine, do you have a similar story? Credit Goddess, do you have a similar story about working with people who have that kind of thing going on? If you do, flash your mics. We love to hear that story. Just break in at any time you wish and share those stories with us. People want to know. But John and Rebecca Jones said, I want to be able to get out of debt. So this is our action plan where we look at, and if you take a look here, the numbers in the green, that's income. John gets income, and then they pay the mortgage, and they're telling the program this, all right? They pay their utilities. They put money into savings when the program tells them. Here is their food and dining budget. Here's money going for the auto loan. And we have another budget that we call unitemized, that they spend that on their insurance. They spend that on their cell phone, things like that. Plus, they have an extra amount of money they spend just on themselves every single month. Let's look into this a little deeper. We run this with 3 separate tabs. All right. So we have the action plan and we've got the budget. So I'm going to go to the budget tab now. We're going to pull up the budget. So when we're pulling up the budget, I need you to see how we put everything in. Once you put this into the computer generates a new field for you every single month. You only put the information in once and then follow it. So now we're putting in that John gets paid bi-weekly $950. Rebecca gets paid weekly $700 a week. All right. So we've got, and then we put in some expenses. We got the food and dining in here. We got the phone, we got the utilities, and then we got the rest of the budget. But here's where we break this thing down. The monthly income averages about $5,091.66. Remember, we had the young lady do this on her own. Well, once you plug it in, the program does it for you. $5,000. And this is their average spending for the month, including the mortgage. $3,760.39. That's the average spending. Sometimes you spend more, sometimes you spend less. But something you need to, or let us do it, figure out after the spending is done on the things that you need to spend, how much money is left. The average discretionary for John and Rebecca Jones is $1,331.28. So for them to overspend, do you realize that they would have to overspend by $1,331.28 to be considered overspending? Well, that's a lot of money, especially if you put into your budget how much money you want to spend on you every month just to have some fun. Put that into your budget, and they have done that, and they still have $1,300 left over. So as they're spending their money each month, they just go to that line and subtract from it. Let me give you an idea of how that works. Let's go back to the action plan, and I'll show you. We're going to go to their budget line, and we're going to put in they're spending a little bit of money on themselves. So if they did that, they would go down to unitemized budget. They would click on itemized budget. They would click on execute, and they would put in, we went to dinner. Okay. Out of the $1,300 we have allotted for that, we spent $125. All right. And so once we tell the program that, we can then categorize it and say, this went to food and dining. And then we can slide over again and say, it went to restaurants. Boom. And then it categorizes it in so that not only can you track your spending, but you can itemize it and then call it up later and says, this is how much we're spending on food and dining every single month. All right. And if they need to adjust that, this is, well, we're still doing okay, but do we really need to spend all of that once they actually look at it? Or they may they may say, listen, we're doing quite well here. We can afford to go out a little bit more, but it's being tracked. So now once we do that, we just execute that. We execute it, and then the program will then keep track of our monthly spending for us. How would you like something like that? So once we get that going, then the program will then tell us how much is left over, and then we could put that money in savings. All right. So let's go ahead and, all right, reload it, put that in, and see how we can get that working for us. I don't know. Something's going on with my internet this morning. There we go. I think it's loading now. Okay. Come on, internet. There we go. And then we'll go down, take a look at unitemized budget, and it tells us that we have $1,175 left to spend in that budget. Okay? So, and that's for the month of October. That's how that works. So let's go back in. I'm going to reset everything, because these are templates that I have in here. And if anybody wants to ask any specific questions about what if you have more than one mortgage, I have a setup where we could do over 10 mortgages. Now, let's take a look at their accounts. What are John and Rebecca Jones trying to accomplish here? So once we get the accounts up and running, we can then see how everything is working for them. They have in their checking account about $500 right now. They have in their savings account $5,138.89. Out of that money, I need to show you something. We're going to click edit here. Out of that money, they're saying we want $4,700 to always be in savings for emergencies. So their emergency fund is $4,700. That's what they've chosen. All right. So they're not using that money to pay off debt. They're keeping that money on hand. Now, we're going to take a look at they have a $25,000 auto loan at 4%. They have $2,000 on their Visa at 21%. They have a mortgage of $200,000 at 6%. Do you realize a $200,000 mortgage at 6%, the bank wants $230,000 just in interest alone? Boom. That's a lot of money in interest. That's their interest consumption. So John and Rebecca Jones never paid attention to how much interest they're paying every month. But the average family pays about 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest. I have 5 shares in this room. Listen, folks, this is the most powerful financial program on the planet. I'm sharing it with you here. We're going to break it down. If you have a specific question about it, you need to raise your hand and ask a question about this thing. All right. Go ahead and continue to share the room so other people can see it and come on in. All right. So Lena says, share the room. Kareen says, share the room. Helen says, good morning. All right. And oh, my goodness. Shalom. Good morning to you. Jeffrey West says he's in the room this morning. Derek says he's on chapter 4 of my book. Derek, thank you so much. Linda says, good morning. All right. So, folks, go ahead. Continue to use the chat function. You can use the scissor function to clip something and share that as well. And go ahead and keep communicating with us. We're up to 7 shares. Very good. We have right now 27 people in here. 83 people have come through the room. And go ahead and keep sharing so that other people can come in and see what we're talking about. So here's what we've got. Now, when we add all of that up, John and Rebecca Jones owe $227,000 right now. Okay? Now, here is where the program does stuff that no other program does in the world. Nobody else does this. In fact, let me tell you something. This is the most powerful debt reduction, wealth building money management program on the planet. If someone becomes one of our clients and they find a better program, we will buy this one back. You will never feel as if you got taken, that you jumped the gun, you didn't do your research, and you hate that feeling when you buy something and then you found out that you could have had something better for the same money or even less money. If you find a better program than this, we will buy ours back from you. In fact, we will contact that company and see how we can partner with them because they have a better program. I never want to be associated with something that is not the very best. Right now, this is the very best on the planet. Nobody beats us. Nobody. And that's a bold claim because I can make that. And if it weren't true, here's something that I want you to try. There are a lot of good companies out there in the world, but when you Google them, when you do a search, there are people who, they're not satisfied and they're saying a lot of bad things about the company. If you do a search on us right now, search the P.I.L.L method. Number one, you'll find out by searching the P.I.L.L method. We're so popular. Birth control is on page 2. That's number one. Here's the second thing. You will not find one negative word about the P.I.L.L method from somebody who is an actual client. Now, you'll see some haters out there, but they're not clients, and they never were. But you'll never find a negative word about the P.I.L.L method from someone who has become a client, got dissatisfied with their results, and now they're complaining. Not one negative word. There are not a lot of programs or companies that can say that after 16 years. Oh, my goodness. Watch this, folks. So now John and Rebecca Jones owe $227,000. And if you look up at the windows on the upper right-hand side, our program has already figured out that they're going to save $179,517 in interest they will not have to pay. That's it. We're already figured out. We've already figured out for them $179,000 in interest they don't have to pay. And because of that, they're going to be able to pay off their 30-year mortgage, their car loan, their credit cards, everything in 7.7 years. In fact, we're going to tell them the month, day, and year, June 12th, 2030. They will be out of debt on that day or before. What other program on the planet is going to tell you something like that to that degree and then also give you a written guarantee that says, if we don't do this or better, we'll give you your money back if you follow our program? Oh my gosh. There is absolutely no risk to our clients. All the risk is on us. I absolutely love being in that position where we can help people to that degree so that they can feel at ease that they made the best financial decision they could ever make on the planet. Now, let's get into how this actually works. I'm going to go back to action plan. Now, we can always see 3 months at a time here, folks. 3 months at a time. I'm looking back from time to time to see if there are any new faces. If there are any new faces, all right, and then what you want to do, folks, is go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method and find our live broadcast. And when you find the live broadcast, then click on it, and then you can see what we're talking about. Okay. Now, let me see here. All right. So we've got the 3 windows that gives us good information. Let me break this down and show you that we can put 3 months at a time. We're starting in October. We can see November and the current month, December. All right. And we can change these windows to give us good information, like how much interest would you like to know at any given time, how much interest you have left to pay. Okay, how much interest do you? So we can do some figuring and say, here's how much total interest I must pay. But in this program, we're going to tell you how much interest you have left to pay after we figure out how much we're going to save you. So you can click here, interest remaining, okay? And then when that loads in, you'll be able to see that John and Rebecca Jones are only going to pay $56,000 in interest. Now, here's what the bank wanted. The bank wanted $179,517 plus the $56,625 in interest. Wanted both of those. But guess what? By using this program, we're going to direct them on how not to pay $179,000 of that. And because of that, they're only going to pay $56,000. And because of that, their years to pay off, 7.7 years. Now, we don't focus on the payoff time. The P.I.L.L method is the only program on the planet that focuses on how much interest you will not pay. Nobody else does that. Nobody. So here's what we're talking about. Let's look at this. Let's look at October 1st when John receives his paycheck. And this is all he has to do, folks. Point and click. Point and click. All right. So people say, Don, you need a lot of discipline to do your finances. Well, point and click and let the program direct you as to what to do. I mean, how hard is it? How much discipline does it take to put an address into your GPS unit and then follow the prompts that say, turn here, get ready to exit at exit 10B, all right, and then get in the right lane? How much discipline does that take? That's what we're talking about here, folks, okay? Now, let's take a look at this. And once he says, oh, I got my paycheck, it was deposited, direct deposited in my bank account, he clicks on execute and he tells the program, I received my paycheck. All right. And when he does that, it disappears from the screen. When it disappears from the screen, where did it go? We updated. The program is updated. The virtual checking account is updated by $950 because his real bank account was updated by $950. If we go to the accounts tab and take a look, we can see now that he has $1,450 in the checking account. As long as the program knows how much money you have, it doesn't need to know where it is. It just needs to know how much it is. Okay. And so he can click on edit and follow and track everything. All right. So he can, I said edit, but he click on history and says, oh, we started out with $500 and now I've deposited $950. Now I have $1,450 in the bank. So now what's next? So we're going to go back to action plan. It's not just about getting money, folks. It's about how you pay your bills. So now does he have enough money do John and Rebecca Jones have enough money to pay their mortgage? Yes, they do. So once they write a check for the mortgage or go online and pay the mortgage, then the mortgage company is going to subtract $1,199 from their checking account. Well, we have to subtract the same amount from the virtual checking account in the program. Look at that. That's how it's done. That easy. All right. So now let's take a look. So do you see this right here? This says interest earned. We will even calculate for you the amount of interest earned John and Rebecca have earned in their savings account and then add it automatically. All they have to do is click here and execute and find out, oh, here's their 11 cents that they've earned. And then tell the program and says execute that, and then that 11 cents is added to their program in their virtual checking account, virtual savings account. Now, why is 11 cents important? I pick up pennies in the parking lot. Even pennies. We break this thing down to the penny. We can tell you how much interest you can save by paying an extra penny on a debt. So we calculate those pennies. All right, we break that all the way down. Now, anybody can, if they wanted to, can calculate how much interest they would save with a penny or 11 pennies. But who wants to sit down and do all of that math all day long, every day, when this can be done instantly for you in about 4 seconds? So they have that. So now they're going to pay their utilities. All right. So now here's another thing that the program does that no other program will do for you. Their average utility bill is $200. But what if they don't have to pay $200 this month? We call that picking up the fragments of money. All right. Now, I need you to watch this. Do you see we have $179,517 in interest that we can save? I want to show you something that if we execute this and tell the program we didn't pay $200 this month, because all these numbers are subject to what the program thinks you have to spend. Let's say we only spent $150 instead, $150. All right. And so watch this number. I'm going to pull this over so you can see $179,517. If they follow the program, that's how much interest they could save. But if they don't spend that extra $50, look what happens. We're going to execute that. Do you see their interest savings just went up? We're going to take a look at every single penny, even the 11 cents that they gained in interest on their savings account, and then we're going to keep adding to their interest savings. As we keep adding to the interest savings, then the time to pay off will continue to go down. This is where they start. This is not where they're going to end up. John and Rebecca Jones, by the time they're debt free, and it'll probably take them about 5 years because of the little things that we do to pick up extra cash that they didn't spend and then tell them how much interest they could save from that. What if you had a program that could tell you that? You know, we had a client in California give us a call. He was so excited. He says, Don, we put our grocery budget into the program. And when we put our grocery budget into the program, we spent everything except $4.69. The program asked us to put that $4.69 into a savings account. When we did, the program recalculated our interest savings, and they gained an extra $35 in interest savings from that $4.69 being applied to debt. Or they could have just bought a burger and fries with that money. So what if you could find out that $4.69 can save you $35 in interest, and then the program would direct you as to when to apply that money to the debt and which one to apply it to. This is how powerful this program is. There's nothing like it on the planet. Nothing. Oh my gosh, I get excited every time I think about it. All right? So now, here's what the program is doing now. Take a look at this, folks. Take a look at this. They're paying, we're going to calculate the finance charge on the Visa. We're going to execute that. Tell the program. So the program wants to know, we keep track of the $35 that they're paying on their Visa. That's just in interest. So they get to see that. Rebecca gets a paycheck. So when Rebecca gets paid, she says, okay, we're going to click on that. So Rebecca got paid $700. And now the program is starting to do some things here. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see the amount, these little arrows here? Look at this. The program is saying on the 12th of the month, take money out of checking and put it into savings, $739.62. The program has done a calculation for the rest of the month. It says this is how much you're spending. But this is the amount of money that you have in your checking account that you don't need for anything else. And we calculate it to the penny, $739.62. Put that in your savings account and wait. Now, what is happening in the month of October as far as their debt is concerned? They just paid the minimum payment on the mortgage. They're putting $739.62 in the savings account, and they're paying the minimum payment on the Visa, and they're paying the minimum payment on the auto loan. That's what they're doing. Folks, continue to share this room. People need to see this. And if you're new to the room, go to your YouTube channel and go to our YouTube channel, and you can see what we're talking about. Go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L Method so you can see this on the screen. All right. Oh, and go ahead and subscribe as well. I would appreciate that. Like the videos and comment. All right. So here's what we're talking about so far. So they're putting money away, but they're only paying the minimums on the debt. Now, why would they do that? If they have extra money, why aren't they taking that money and putting it on the debt now? Because the program is figuring out when is the best time to do it so that they can save the most money in interest per dollar. So, Don, what does that mean? All right, let me give you an example of what that means. We're going to put an amortization schedule on the screen right now so you can see what I'm talking about. The $200,000 mortgage that they're talking about at 6%. Okay, so we're going to put in $200,000 at 6%, and then we're showing you why it matters. Their payment right now is $1199.10. And if you've seen my videos before, and we're looking at what's going on here, if you prepay a certain amount of money, you can kill interest. Okay, so here's how much principal they're paying on the very first payment. Here's how much interest they're paying on that payment. Only $199.10 goes to principal, $1,000 goes to interest. So if they make that payment in January, this is their February payment, $200.10 and $999 going to interest. If in January, when they make their regular mortgage payment, they prepay the $200.10, give it to the bank early, in the same month they made a regular payment, this money is subtracted from what they owe. They're paid down to line 2 on their amortization schedule where they owe $199,600.80. And this $200 wipes out line 2. It's gone. Not for $1,200, but for only $200. And their next mortgage payment for February is now on line 3. They just saved $999 in interest. That is the background. But watch this. Based on that, if we prepay here on line 12, the cumulative principal is $2,456 and a penny. That's all the principal payments added up. If you add up all the interest payments, it comes to $11,933.19. That's a lot of money to give the bank in order for you to purchase a home. And that's why it takes 30 years to never to pay off a house, because of all the money you got to give them while you only get $2,456 and a penny worth of buy down. Well, how fair is that? So this is just an example, but what if John and Rebecca Jones were to prepay this? They would knock off 12 payments they never have to make. Woo. Okay? Because they're paid down to line 12 on the amortization schedule in 1 month, and they save a ton of interest. And the reason why I'm pointing this out, folks, I'm going to also put a calculator on the screen to show you something. We're setting something up here. Okay? Where's my calculator? Come on, calculator. There it is. Put my calculator on the screen. All right. So if they prepay the $2,456, they're going to knock off all 12 of these payments that they never have to make. And their next mortgage payment for February will be on line 13 of the schedule, not 2. It'll be on line 13, where they're paying $211, $38, and $987, $72. So if they gave that $2,456.01 and saved all of that interest, that would be amazing. But I'm going to give you two choices here. Let's look at line 12 and look at line 24. If John and Rebecca Jones had plenty of money in the bank, I mean, thousands. And I said, which one would you prefer? Prepay the $2,456 on line 12 or prepay the $5,063.50 on line 24 and knock out 24 payments you never have to make and the interest on those lines? Most people would pick line 24. But let me show you the difference between line 12 and line 24. So we're going to take the interest here, the 11,933.19, because if you give that money to the bank up front, you don't have to pay them all of that interest. You don't have to. So we're going to take that and divide it by the $2,456 and a penny that we paid to get here. Okay, so we're going to divide it by the $2,456 and a penny, and we find out that we just saved $4.85 per dollar applied. $4.85 for every dollar that we put on the mortgage early. So that's the same as saying, you know what? At this level, if I give you, bank, even $1 ahead of time, I make it impossible for you to charge me $4.85. That is strong. That's amazing. So that's what we're getting. We're at $4.85. Well, actually, if we go to 4.858, the bank will round that up to $4.86 for every dollar. So that's on line 12. But if we do line 24, will we get a better interest savings per dollar, or will we get a worse interest savings per dollar? Let's go ahead and put into our calculator 23,000, because we're going to get rid of 24 payments now if we prepay the $5,063.50. 23,714 and 90 cents. All right. And then we're going to divide it by, watch this, divide by $5,063.50 equals 468. Folks, that's less per dollar. We were at 486 per dollar, and now we're at 468 per dollar. So if you can save $4.86 per dollar, should you ever accept $4.68 per dollar applied in its place? Absolutely not. So it matters how much you pay and when you pay. So when we go back to the program here, we go back to the program, and the program is saying, don't put any extra money on the debt right now. That is a reason for that. Okay? So we've got 8 shares in here. Let me check the comments. I'm looking for raised hands. I'm not saying anything. Oh, Liza is here. Grand Rising, beautiful people, she says. Linda says, thank you. All right, Brenda Jackson says, that's right. Okay, Brenda Jackson knows for sure that that's right, don't you, Brenda? Thank you for being here this morning. I see you in here, Lena. I see you. I got Brett in here and Derek. All right, folks, here's where we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Getting down to the nitty gritty here. Watch this. So if the program, and when you see these little arrows, that's what the program is directing you to do something. There are no arrows directing you to put anything on debt in October. I need you to also look at November. The program is still telling you to put money in savings, but no arrows directing you to put any extra money on debt. We're putting another $350, another $700. We're putting in more money into the savings, just waiting for the opportunity to put money on the debt. So why is the program waiting? So why don't we change one of these windows here and find out, when does a program going to put money on the debt? So if we go to next debt transfer and change this window, we can always know the next day that the program is going to put money on debt. Now, people call us all the time and says, Don, what is the best day to do this? The answer is, I don't know, because the best day and the best amount is always changing. If you're optimizing something, you take current data, you do the math, and then you come up with brand new directions. So on this, with this amount of data, the program is saying on 12/7, they started in October. In 12/7, you're gonna have enough money in savings to put $3,170 on debt. Why is that so powerful? Instead of you trying to figure out how you're going to put an extra $500 or extra $200 every month and struggle to do that even when your budget is tight, how would you like to be able to predict based on your spending pattern how much you're going to be able to save and then take the money out of your savings account after you've run through your entire budget, including spending your fund money? You get to run your budget. You get to spend the money the way that you feel you need to. And that's the way it should be. And even the money that you put in there for your family to create memories and have some fun, that becomes a bill that you want to pay every month. Listen, how much money do you want to spend on yourself? That's a bill. Okay, put it in there, put it into the program. And then the program will then predict how much money you will have in 2 or 3 months to put on the debt. Look at this, $3,170. So instead of putting the money in October, instead of putting the money in November, the program says, let's go down to December and put the money on the debt in December. And what we're going to do is take the money, the first part of this money, on the 7th of the month. It says take the money from savings and put it on the Visa and pay the Visa off to zero. Look at that. So when we do that, the program will do something that no other program does on the planet. It will tell us how much interest we just saved for doing that. Let me make that just a little bit bigger so you're not squinting. All right, there it is. All right. So the program says future interest savings, $1,771.34. Folks, what does that really mean? Here's what it means. If you make minimum payments all the time to pay off this debt, you will also have to give the bank $1,771.34 in interest along with paying back the money you borrowed. So if you give them back the money early, that means you don't have to pay the $1,771.34. And this is the sauce that makes everything work. All right, so what's next? What's next? So we'll cancel out of this. So we paid off the credit card. Now, we had over $3,000 to put on, so where do we put the rest of the money? So the program says, oh, we're going to, since we paid off the credit card, we're not going to put any extra money on the car this month. We're going to put that extra money on the mortgage instead. $1,166.98 to the penny. To the penny. And the program will then tell us, if we do, how much interest we will save if we do that. Total interest, future interest savings, $5,675.26. Wow. What if everybody knew that if you did that, this is how much interest you would save? Now, again, keep this in mind. If you make your mortgage payments just like the bank wanted you to pay them, by the time you pay your mortgage down by $1,166.98, you will also have given them $5,675.26 in interest to do that. This is what keeps us in debt a long, long time. Paying down the loan, but giving them all of that interest money. So if you give them that money ahead of time out of your savings account, guess what? You get the equity and you don't have to pay $5,600 in interest. Man. What other program on the planet does that? So, Don, don't they have over $5,000 in savings? Yeah, they got over $5,000 in savings right now. But the program says stop at $1,166.98. Why? Because if they paid any more right now, the amount of interest they could save per dollar would go down. I just showed you by paying the wrong amount, even if it's more, it could be detrimental to how much interest you end up paying overall and keep you in debt longer because you're paying the wrong amount at the wrong time, even if it's more. Watch this. This is why the program says the optimum time and the optimum amount is right here on the 7th of the month. Now, don't even put it in with your regular mortgage payment. The regular mortgage payment goes in on the 1st of the month. Wait 6 days and then put extra money on the debt because that's the time to add it. It's going to mean more for you if you wait 7 days and then put $1,166.98 and save $5,675.26. So let's do a little math here. Okay? So if we take the $5,675.26 and divide it by the amount of money that we're actually going to pay, all right, we're going to divide it by $1,166.98. How much are we saving per dollar? Equals $4.86. 486. 4.863. $4. I'm making a note right now. 4.863. Okay? So what if we did this instead? What if I didn't know about the law of diminished return? That's what we're talking about today, folks. When you put more on than you should at the wrong time, the results are going to be diminished. It's just math. It's not magic. It's just math. All right. So $4.86. So we've got more than $5,000 in savings right now. So why don't we just round this baby up to $1,500? Let the program recalculate and say, oh, now you can save $7,259.78 instead of the $5,000. Well, to the untrained eye, this looks better until we do the math. So we're going to do the math. We're going to clear this out. We're going to put in $7,259.78. That's how much interest we could save. But we have to pay $1,500 instead to get it. So we're going to divide it by 1,500 equals $4.83, not $4.86. You're actually saving less per dollar when you put more on at the wrong time. But there is a compounding effect when you start putting the wrong money on debt for long periods of time. And I need you to watch this instead. Do you see the $179,564 that John and Rebecca are supposed to save if they follow the program? And if you need to see this, go to YouTube right now and search P.I.L.L method so you can see what we're getting ready to do here. Okay, we're going to make some changes. We're not going to put in what the program said about $1,100. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to do $1,500. We're not going to wait until the 7th. We're going to send it in. We're going to send it in on the 1st when we make the mortgage payment. We're paying more and we're paying sooner. I need you to watch the $179,564. Watch the last three numbers here. We're putting on more. Will we get a better result in interest savings or will we get a worse result in interest savings? Watch this. Watch the compounding effect of doing something wrong for 7 years. So we tell the program we want to pay the $1,500 and it goes, look here. We're saving less per dollar. We're saving less overall. How about that? What are the programs? If I told you on a street corner that by paying more, you're going to be worse off, you would never believe it. But it's just math, folks. And we're doing the math for you, guiding you to financial freedom by saving you the maximum amount of interest that we possibly can. So let me go back here. I'm going to reset this. And while I'm resetting it, I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any hands raised. So why don't we do this? All right. Why don't we do this? Why don't we hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time? I can get a drink of water, and then we will reset the program and then show you some other powerful calculations that the program can do. So, Kirk, are we ready to roll that? I am so glad that you're here to help me to run.
To me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Listen, folks, we're giving out a lot of good information here. So if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt-free, just like Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip-hop preacher, then go to ice10k.com that you see at the top of the screen. Click on that button, and then you'll find where it says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Follow all of the directions there. And then you will be led into our financial page. Put all of your information in there, your financial information in there that we're asking for. It's very basic stuff I could find out at the courthouse. So we don't need any any of your secrets. Okay, then we'll be able to tell you the month, day, and year you can be debt free and how much interest you can save. And it's usually within a 7 to 9 year window. And our average client saves over $150,000 in interest they never have to pay. That is huge. Also, you'll find on there our book, The P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, gives you all the basics. The book is not the tool. The book is a list of tools that you need to save money on interest and to get out of debt faster and understand what the bank is doing to us because we don't have the education. The book is a very good start to your education, and it tells you what you need. Two of the things you need: education on how loans really work. Another thing you need: computer program that does all the numbers for you and tells you exactly what to do and when. Okay, that's just two of the tools. So listen, there's a lot more. So get the book and save a ton of money. All right, and give it out as gifts. All right, it's Christmas time. Do yourself a favor. Your family members will love it. Give it out as gifts. The other thing you can do is this. I would love to have partners. Credit Goddess is gathering up partners to help her in her mission. So she's inspiring me to do the same. If you like this information, if you would like to share this information with others, I would like to invite you to our affiliate program. If you would like to be an affiliate with the P.I.L.L Method, go ahead and put a number 9 in the chat. Put number 9s in the chat right now if you'd like to be an affiliate with the program. And by sharing our information, when we bring on a new client that you send our way, we will send you $300 as a thank you. Okay? So if you would like to, if you want more information about our affiliate program, put number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the chat if you'd like to see that. All right? Let's see who wants to get an extra $300 every time they help someone. All right. Oop, Jeremiah says number 9. Anybody else? Anybody else put number 9s in the chat? So here's what we're doing, folks. If you do this, you go to P.I.L.L Method, ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and if you're talking to somebody who has at least, all right. Say Syed says yes. What's number 9? If you're talking to somebody who has a mortgage, they have to have a mortgage, and they have to owe at least $100,000. If they owe $100,000 or more and they have a mortgage, then you qualify for this referral bonus if they become a client. Okay, so once you find that out and they love and they're interested in this kind of information, send them to the YouTube channel. So the P.I.L.L Method YouTube channel, so they can watch a few of our videos and then follow up with them in a day or two. Tell them, I'm going to follow up with you in a day or two, and then ask them, what did you think about the information? If they're still interested in knowing more, fill out the tab on my 10K card, ice10k.com. There is another button that says referrals are the best compliments. Click on that button, fill it all out, put your name in as the referring partner, and when that person becomes a client, we will send you $300 because you'll already be registered as a referral partner with the P.I.L.L Method. Well, it doesn't stop there. Let's say, Don, I really like this. We'll also have a conversation on how you can turn that $300 every time you refer a client to $1,000 every time you refer a client that becomes that signs on to the P.I.L.L Method. If you do 5 of those a month, that's $5,000. You can't beat that with a stick. So, folks, become a referral partner and help share the wealth. Help spread this message far and wide. Help other people while you are helping yourself. All right, folks, back. So I got a little drink of water. I got a little chance to rest. We got our program reset. So let's reset the room. You're in the P.I.L.L Method Club. And if you're not a member of the P.I.L.L Method Club, go ahead and click the greenhouse at the top. Click the greenhouse at the top. Join the club. Artificial intelligence here telling you exactly what to do and when to save money. Now, people ask me, Don, what about paying off in the right order? We've heard of the debt snowball. Okay. Paying off the smallest debt first and then taking the money that you didn't have to pay, that you no longer have to pay on the minimum payments anymore, taking that and then putting that on the next largest loan and then paying that off and then taking that money and paying off the another larger loan. And you just keep snowballing that money. All right. And if you've heard of the debt snowball, put a number 8 in the chat. Put number 8 in the chat if you've heard of the debt snowball. And what we're going to do is show you how the program is more powerful than the debt snowball and the avalanche methods combined. The avalanche method is looking at paying off the higher interest rates first that you have, working down to the smaller interest rates. That's the avalanche method. Or you could do the debt snowball method, taking the smaller amounts and then building up to the larger amounts. Okay? So here's how this works. Now remember, we started here by telling you that John got paid $950 on his paycheck, and then he paid his bills. Okay, so we'll point and click. That's how easy it is. Tell the program how much you're spending. All right. Put in the interest earnings that you have, this 11 cents. All right. Calculate that. That's our interest earnings. All right. We're going to pay the mortgage. Yeah. Just point and click. Tell the program all of this. It is that quick. All right. I'm going to show you another way to do this in a few minutes. All right. So, and then we're having, you're going to pay the utilities. All right. We're going to execute that. And this is how we can pick up an extra $50 to save even more interest. Let's say the utility bill is only $150 instead of $200 this month. Even that increases how much interest we could save by a ton. All right. And now we're looking at the program saying, let's pay off in December. It says, let's pay off the Visa. I need to show you what's going on. So if we pay off the Visa, okay, let me show you. We're going to go into accounts. So if you want to see this, make sure you're on watching us live right now. All right. So we are looking at how much money we're saving by paying off the debt. Now look at this $50.88. If we pay off the Visa, we don't have to pay that minimum payment anymore. But if you're following the debt snowball, then the next debt we should be attacking is the auto loan, not the mortgage. The program says attack the mortgage next, not the auto loan. So let me go back and show you that the program is saying after paying off, let's scroll down, after we pay off the Visa, the program says attack the mortgage with $1,166.98. Well, let me show you something. What if you wanted to say, listen, I like that debt snowball business. We should be doing that. So we can go into settings, we can click preferences, and we go over here to the left, look over here to the left, and click on program focus settings. We can change the focus of the program. Right now it's set to automatic. The program will choose how much money and which debt, which month, which day. Program chooses everything. Or you can override the program and choose, I don't want to focus on the mortgage right now. I want to focus on the auto loan and pay it off 2 years early. You can do that. Okay? But I need you to read this first. It says, when the focus is set to automatic, the program will automatically optimize the order to pay off the debts to become debt-free. You may change the focus setting. However, this could have a negative impact on your overall results. Let me show you what this means. Let's put P.I.L.L method back. I have to put the P.I.L.L method back on the screen. I'm back on the program now. Kurt, we're back on the screen here. There we go. There it is. All right. So here's what we're talking about. So just so that we can get you caught up, you can click this drop down, and you can choose which loan you want to focus on. Okay, which loan you want to focus on. All right. So the program says automatic, and if you want to do something else, you could hurt your results. So I need you to watch this. The program is saying we can pay off in 7.7 years and save $179,546 by following the program. Or we could say, oh, I think I would do better if I pay off the auto loan first because it's a smaller loan and I can take that $400 and put it on the mortgage and save even more money. But the program is saying, no, we want to do this month. All right. So let's override it. Watch your 7.7 years. Watch your $179,000. So we're going to click on the auto loan. Watch their numbers. Program's going to recalculate. Okay. Did you see that? It went from 7.7 years to 7.8 years. We're going to pay off the car loan 2 years early. But overall, it's going to take us longer to get out of debt. And the $179,000 in interest we were going to save has been cut by $2,000. We're going to pay the car off early, and it's going to cost us $2,000 in interest we weren't paying attention to. How does that work? Let me show you. I'm going to but see, what's great about doing this is that you can put it back to automatic. And before you mess everything up, then the program goes back to where it was. Okay? So watch this. We're going to go into accounts. All right? Into accounts. And then we're going to take a look at this. All right? This is why it works. If we take a look at the auto loan, I need you to see this. We click on the history, look over to the left. Let me make these numbers just a little bit bigger. We look over to the left and we see that the interest payments we start saving are the $80 payments. By focusing on paying off the car loan early, we're saving $80 in interest payments, and it goes down from there. Well, I'm not saying that that's not insignificant. Saving interest is saving interest. But right now, it takes to prepay $377.08. If you prepay that, you save this $83.33. Well, that's what's happening. So this is what we're doing when we pick the wrong loan to focus on, because we focus on the interest savings. So if we focus on the car for the next 2 years, then look at what happens when we do that. I'm going to scroll down to the mortgage here, and then we'll click on the history. While we're focusing on the car to pay it off early and save $80 payments, we're saying, okay, let's just make the minimum payment on the mortgage while we're paying off the car. Look at the huge interest payments we're saying it's okay to pay when we're saving the $80 payments. Every so-called financial guru, even the guy in Nashville, Tennessee, who says that we should be focusing on the snowball so that we can get small wins and save the mortgage till last, this is what he's getting you to do. Pay off the smaller loans with a cheaper cost and pay the loans off with the larger cost last. Folks, does that make any sense to you? I need you to put a yes or a no in the chat. If by following the snowball, the guy who in Nashville, Tennessee says pay off the smaller loans first and leave the larger loans, which cost you more money in interest, and save that till last. If that makes sense to you, put a yes or a no in the chat. If that makes sense, put a yes or a no. I need to see that. I need to see in the chat. Does that make sense to save the ones that cost you more last? We just showed that just making that one mistake is going to cost you $2,000 extra dollars in interest. The average client that pays, that uses this system and could use the debt snowball. The debt snowball works. It will get you out of debt faster than doing nothing. But the average client, if all things being equal, they will pay $50,000 to $70,000 more in interest overall than the one who's using the opportunity cost calculator and following those prompts. So folks, what do you want to do here? Do you want to keep flying by the seat of your pants? Or would you like to have the only program in the world that saves you interest? Now, some of these gurus will tell you this: you don't need a program to do this. All you have to do is this. Pay it off in this way, and you could do it for free. Folks, free ain't free. If you can pay off your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards. You can do that all early on your own for free. But is it really free if it's going to cost you $50,000 to $70,000 more in interest you're not paying attention to? Free ain't free. It never has been free. All right? That's like saying, yeah, you don't have to pay all that money to change your oil. You don't have to pay all that money to do maintenance on your car and just drive it for free. Just put gas in it. Folks, free ain't free, especially when it comes to your finances. Free ain't free. Never has been. So if you want to save more money, then here's what you're going to take a look at. The gurus will tell you, don't send money to the P.I.L.L method. You could do it on your own. Just buy my book for $20, and we'll tell you how to do it for free. I don't think so. Not when you're going to end up telling people that they're going to be doing this and paying more interest just so that they can feel better. I ask a question in my book. This is one of the questions I ask in my book. How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? How much do you want to pay for your good feelings? So it's not about good feelings, folks. It's about saving that interest. So when you pay less interest, you're out of debt faster. When you pay more interest, you're in debt longer. So all the financial gurus out there that are telling you to use the snowball method and use the avalanche method to get out of debt, they are assigning you a sentence to stay in debt longer and to pay more interest, guaranteed, hands down. Well, you don't want to do that. You want to do something else. You want to do something better than that. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to, in our last few minutes here, I'm not seeing any questions on the stage. All right. Credit Goddess, are you still with us? Can you chat with us just a little bit? I know you've got a lot of things going, setting up your rooms today, but we're getting ready to shut it down here. And folks, if just so that you know, we're going to tell you early. We are. Let me fix this for you. What we're getting ready to do here for the holidays. All right, for the holidays. We're not going to be here next Friday or next Sunday because of Christmas. Next Friday, okay, somebody wants, okay, there we go. Oh my goodness! Listen, man, our engineer is on top of everything here. All right, he says, listen, not even internet blackouts stop him. Okay, he finds a way when the internet isn't even working right. He finds a way to make this thing work. Kirk, we appreciate you. So, folks, here's what we're talking about today. We are going to be off for Christmas, the Friday before Christmas, and of course Sunday we're going to be off, and then we're going to be right back the next Wednesday. Okay, so if you want to hear from us, we've got over 173 shows up already on YouTube. And if you just got to get your pill method fix, go to YouTube and watch one of the replays. Okay? So do that. We're going to be off next and hanging out with the family. All righty? So I'm going to show you one last thing that this thing can do. It can do so much, but I'm going to show you one last thing that this program can do. Now, we just brought on a client yesterday, and they said, Don, how soon will I be able to see results? How soon will I be able to see results in this program? I told them that the average client sees results in the first 3 to 5 months that they would not have done on their own. Watch this. So I can show you very quickly by going through this month by month. And we can do the whole month at a time instead of just clicking on each thing. I want to show you right now that the total interest saved is going to be $179,546. But do you see where it says actual interest saved? Look at that. Actual interest. So if you follow the program, all right, the program will add up for you the amount of interest that you saved. And we're going to take a look at the first 3 months on this program. So we're going to go back to October. We're going to select the entire month. We're going to click execute multiple actions. And so everything is going to be in there for 1 month. And then we're going to change, let me see, 150,000. Yeah, $150 we're putting in there. So we're going to click select all. And then we're going to do the whole month at one time. And when we execute that, the whole month of October is done. Whole month of October is done. So we paid our bills. We've made our money. Now we're at November. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. Select month, click on execute multiple actions, and then we're going to do the entire month of November, making money, paying the bills. We could click on everything individually, but for sake of time, we're going to do the entire month all at one time. So here's the month of November, execute that, and then we see we've already saved, look at this, $109 in interest you don't have to pay by following this program. Just by following the program and paying off your debt in the way that, but we're not taking away money from your family to do it. You're putting in how much money you want to spend on family every month. So we're not taking money away. Any money that's left over, we're saying put that in the bank. So we've already saved $109 in interest we never have to pay by following the program. Now we're going to do the month of December. We're only going to do down to where the program says put money in the bank. So we're going to click on these individually. Okay. All right. Pay the phone bill, put money in savings. All right. We're going to pay the Visa, and we're going to put $1,202.30 on the mortgage. All right. We're going to pay off the Visa and put $1,200 on the mortgage in 3 months. This is where we are. And most people would not have done this on their own, taking extra money, just putting it in savings, and then taking money out of savings. And on the right day of the month, put the exact amount of money that you need to put on here to the penny. Watch what happens. We're going to execute multiple actions. And folks, this is not magic. It's just math. It's not magic. It's just math. And we did all of this for you. Watch this. We're going to execute. Look there. Actual interest saved in just 2.5 months, $7,616 in interest you never have to pay. Or you can follow the guy in Tennessee and pay $50,000 to $70,000 in interest you should have been paying in the first place by following inaccurate information. It was good for a time. But we have computing power now that can give us better information, more accurate information, more powerful information. You got a computer that can do all of this for you now, and in just 2.5 months, save you $7,616 in interest. This is the only program on the planet that guarantees that we're going to maximize your interest savings. I love what I do. I'm right here in Huntsville, Alabama, in the midst of aerospace. We're here where they're building rockets to go to the moon. They're doing all of that stuff here. The Army is here. They build helicopters out of here. They're doing all sorts of things that require engineers here. There are more engineers in Huntsville, Alabama, per capita than any other place on the planet. Right here in Huntsville. That's one of the reasons why Huntsville is growing so huge. All the engineers that come into our office that see my advertising come into our office with their spreadsheets and say, this is what I can do with my spreadsheet. What can your program do? We put their same numbers into our program. Every engineer that comes in here walks out with our program and throws their spreadsheet away. Because we built an optimizing program that tells you exactly what to do. With a spreadsheet, you have to tell the program what you want to do, and it will tell you the results. With our program, we take a look at your entire financial footprint. All you do is tell it how much you're spending and how much you're making, and then the program will tell you exactly what to do and when to save the most amount of interest possible for you. Folks, it's just math. It's not magic. If you've liked what you heard today, put a number 9 in the chat. We're getting ready to break it on down now. We're getting ready to break it down and let you know that what you want to do is get a savings and earnings report for yourself. Just like other people on the stage have done, just like Eric Thomas has done, just like hundreds of thousands of people have done over the last 16 years. They've done it so much that by going to our website, by logging on to our program, our SEO is through the roof. The P.I.L.L method is more popular than birth control because birth control is on page 2. You search P.I.L.L method, we come up first. We take up the whole entire page. There's something going on here, folks, that people need to know about. And because in this next year, we are going to do it bigger and better in the next year. We're starting right now. We're bringing on referral partners right now. Go to ice10k.com. Save that on your phone. Save it on your phone. ice10k.com, and you'll find the button there that says, oh, referrals are the best compliments. Refer this to other people. Send them to our YouTube channel. Let them watch the videos. Follow up with them in a day or two. And if they want to know more, say, listen, I'll take care of it. You fill out that form, put your name in the referral slot. And when that person becomes a client, we will send you $300. Restrictions do apply. Give us a call and find out how you can become a referral partner. All the information is there on my 10K card. I'm so excited about this new venture where not only are we going to continue to help people, but we want to help you help people and then help yourself along the way. We want to spread the wealth to you. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. All right, we have a comment here in the chat. Okay, somebody says 100% true. Somebody says hi there. Who's that that's saying 100% true? They're watching us on YouTube, but I can't see who you are. It doesn't tell me who you are. So thank you very much for that. Thank you, folks, for being here today. We're going to end just a little bit early, but I want to say Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so very much. And as a Christmas present to you, we want to bring you on as referral partners. Anybody who's interested in helping anybody else, we want to help. If you love this information, some of you are here every single day. You don't miss a show. It's time for us to get into the giving business. We want to give back to you because you are watching us, you're commenting, you're joining us, you're sharing, you're improving our SEO, you're getting us out there for the whole world to see. As a thank you, become a referral partner. And if you start getting those $300 payments that you like, then find out how you can turn that into $1,000 for every new client. I'm excited
that is awesome. That is awesome, Don. And I just wanted to jump in.
Come on, man.
That is absolutely awesome. What an opportunity we have. And for those that are listening on Clubhouse, this is Kirk Nugent, Don's producer. This is the guy he's referring to every now and again. I'm coming through Don's mic. So, just a little bit of magic that we're pulling off here, live video. But listen, Don, I wanted to share this is a phenomenal opportunity. You rolled it out last week, the referral program. I don't know what people are waiting on. There are people who watch literally every day. Why not get $300? If you've been waiting, if the information that has been shared is not reason enough to share with your family and friends, then the $300 should put it over the line. should put it over the line. But I think one of the things that Don has done, and I don't know if you've said it explicitly, so I'll say it on his behalf. He's looking for hot leads, warm leads. Don't just refer folks who you haven't talked to. Send them the link. Let them watch the shows. Let them come in on Clubhouse, ask a few questions, follow up with them. That's what the $300 is for. You're not going to get it just for handing off a name. They've got to sign up. And the way to ensure that they sign up is, number one, if you're like me, sign up yourself, all right? Get the $300 for your own sign up and have your own opportunity cost calculator for your family. But then also share with them what the program is doing for you. This is kind of in my bag, Don. That's why I had to share here, because this is what live video is all about. People ask me, Kirk, why did you get into Amazon live shopping? I said, because live shopping is live solving. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back that are not listening. Pay attention. Live shopping is actually live solving. I'm simply sharing with people what I'm using to solve a problem for me. And by sharing with you what solved the problem for me, it may solve the problem for you. So Don's program has solved the problem for me. I'm not looking back. I'm simply going where the GPS tells me. Put money here, put money there, pay off this, pay off that. Car's already paid off, y'all. Credit cards are going down. We're starting to put more money on that interest for the house. And I've been telling my friends about a year now, I've been telling my friends, I said, listen, in about 5, 6, 7 years, you guys are going to say to yourselves, hey, Kirk, man, you're making different moves. You're investing in houses. Money doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. Work doesn't seem to be required anymore. What did you change? And I'm telling you now on the front end that I changed. The change that we made as a family is that we got our own opportunity cost calculator. That is what made the difference for us. So I just want to share that with you guys, man. I'm not just his producer. I am also a client, and I firmly believe in what Don is sharing here. And I'm excited. Listen, I wanted to also say, Don, that we are doing Sunday and Wednesday, correct? We're not off Sunday and Wednesday. This coming Sunday, this coming Wednesday.
That's right. This coming Sunday, this coming Wednesday, we are on. Come back Sunday and Wednesday at our regular times. This Sunday, we're at 8:30 Central Time. We're at 9:30 Eastern, and we're going to be back on Wednesday again, but we're going to be off for next Friday and next Sunday.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I just wanted to confirm. Listen, fam, I'm going to shut up for now, but that's the that's the word for today, man. Take advantage of the information that's being shared. Knowledge that is applied is where transformation truly happens. So we don't want to just receive and receive and receive. We want to apply it for ourselves and get the benefits for ourselves. What would be so sad to me is if you were to refer someone and they get the program before you do and begin realizing the benefits before you do, because you've said to yourself and disqualified yourself and said, this program is too much for me. That would be a sad thing for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Don, back to you, sir. Let's close this thing out.
All right. Thank you so very much. Somebody wanted to tell me what was my background again. My background is this, folks. God has blessed me with autism. So when I take a look at an amortization schedule, I see pictures and patterns that people don't see. Other people don't see what we see. This is why the P.I.L.L method education is so powerful. It is so dynamic. It is so life-changing. It is so unlike anything you've heard before because it hasn't been talked about before. So this is something that God gave to me. I'm giving it to you. And so now what we're going to do is help you help others, and then also help your family with increasing your bottom line by at least $300 for every new client that comes our way, and $1,000 if you follow certain protocols. So folks, remember, the only ones that will be qualified are people who have a mortgage and they owe at least $100,000. Anybody else will not qualify for the referral fees. All right, folks, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so very much for being here. We're going to end up with Dr. Eric Thomas. See you again on Sunday.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you going to keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.